Hello and welcome back to the channel.
In this episode we're going to be talking about my R32 Skyline GTR RB28 stuff, lots and lots of abbreviations.
So for those that are basically new here and we're shouting and hopefully the wind is going to be cancelled out, this is Nick's R32 Skyline GTR. We've had it here on the channel before, but there's some updates, there's some future plans, and that's basically what we're going to be covering today.
Yep, there's a lot in store for the car and we'll just go over it, and there's stuff that's happened since the last video that we haven't talked about yet, so we're just going to go over everything. So, most obvious change since the last video is the car now has what are called S1 Nismo stripes. Sadly not genuine, because I'm pretty confident, because I've been looking for ages, that you can't buy the stripes anymore, so I had to have these ones custom made. And
eBay special.
Yeah,
but a really
eBay
good
special.
guy.
Yeah,
really good guy.
He's done all the custom decals. We'll cut in a picture of a real S1 and explain these other decals on the car as well. But me and Nate fitted these. It was a windy day. Always the best time to do decals. Always the best time to do window tint on Volvos.
But I think what people really want to know is actually power of the car.
Oh, well.
Power of the car, engine of the car,
yeah. So
and future power things.
We ended the last year on tuning the car, and the car hit 684 point something horsepower.
But then it went up a bit, didn't it?
Went up a tiny bit. It went up a bit. It could get to 700, but the turbos don't like it.
Okay.
Because it's still running its original twin turbo setup. It's just an absolute monster. You've probably seen in the video already that it shoots flames. It's an angry. So the car's a complete rebuild. It's a stitch chassis. All the way going, well, back to front I suppose. The entire car was originally grey. This is a Nismo colour, even though it's just silver. It's a Nismo colour. Front brakes are off an R35 GTR, or just a GTR, because I know people hate calling it an R35.
They don't think it's a Skyline, basically.
No, it's not a Skyline, I agree.
Technically, no, it's not.
A bit boring as well.
Mm.
And not as well built.
No, it's not.
No, not
it's
as well.
really not. We've seen that from Evil GC.
Yeah, exactly.
Like 4 launches, it's dead.
Yeah, can't do it. So, 6-speed gearbox out of an R34 GTR. Completely retrimmed interior to match what is a Nismo Z-Tune. It's just a massive spec car. Doesn't have any gauges in the centre anymore, boost gauges. It's been replaced with a Android double DIN unit, because we run the gauges through the Android tablet. Everything else inside, it's got completely custom Endless, because this entire car was actually built by a Japanese company called Endless R, not to be confused with Endless. So there is an Endless tuning company that everyone knows, who knows
Guys who mainly do brakes, isn't it?
They're generally doing brakes.
Yeah.
Where Endless R is a race team, and they make specific race engines. And that brings us on to why I have E1 Endless R Tune decals and Endless Factory. These are a hark to the S1 decals, and an S1 R32 will have S1 here and Omari Factory there. That's where the original Skylines were built. And if you buy a Skyline now, because you can actually buy these, I don't know if you know, Nate, you can buy these brand new.
Can you?
Yeah.
Oh no, you can now, can't you?
Yeah. It's called the Heritage Scheme. You can go and spend.
That's Nissan absolutely raking it in.
I can't remember how much it is, but
they're like $500,000.
It's a lot of money.
It's insane.
Yeah, but this is a complete rebuild. So the chassis is totally stitch welded. It's got IKEA Formula arms. There's a Chinook coming, and the Chinook is coming to take it away because it is such a scary car.
I don't think we can see it, to be fair. It's up there somewhere, but it's very bloody loud. Right, anyway.
Skyline's faster.
Insert B-roll of driving past.
So, I mean, the really important thing.
You haven't even spoken about the
LMGT4 alloys. Yeah.
Come on.
Yes. Well, sorry. I had a little bit of fun with these. When we first got the car, it had R888 tyres on it that are pretty much completely.
They were knackered.
They were knackered, and I put new tyres on it. But when I took it to the tyre place, this is the only LMGT4 with a missing centre cap, and I wound them up saying that you know, where's my centre cap? Because they're about 60 quid a cap.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't want to lose one.
And so the front brakes are R35,
The
but
rear
then
brakes are 370Z.
yes.
Yeah,
so
so
I'm very familiar with it. It's an Akibono actually, very good brake.
Yeah.
The 370 brakes are pretty decent.
So coming around to the back, we've got a carbon Fujihama spoiler.
Which we've already done a video on whether
Yeah.
carbon fibre is worth it, which we'll link it
Exactly.
above.
Again, endless R1 decal on the back here. When I bought it, it didn't have any of these badges, but luckily I managed to find the badges brand new. All Skylines, this is a weird thing I didn't know until after I bought it, which is a pain. These badges are colour coded to the car. So a silver car would have had a silver inlay, and a black car has a black inlay, red cars have a red inlay, and then there's a
I
dark.
actually didn't know that.
No, there's a dark blue. So annoyingly, I've got the wrong decal, but we'll get over it because it's not really original anymore, anyway, is it?
No,
Um,
absolutely not.
Down at the bottom, we've got a Tommy or
Tomei.
Yeah, I pronounce it differently. Whatever. A Tommy TI turbo back exhaust. So rather than just the D-cap that a lot of people have and the cap back, I've got the downpipes, which actually cost more than the rest of the exhaust.
Which is, I mean, it is just insane. Like,
Yeah.
this isn't kind of bragging rights, FYI.
It's
You know, it's kind of, you know, if your hobby is just cars, you pour all your money into it. But even car guys acknowledge how insane the cost is, because
Yeah.
it is absolutely insane, the
close
cost
to
of these
£4
things.
grand for an entire exhaust.
Yeah, I mean, that's just mental.
Yeah.
But
But then at the
worth
other
it
end
if
of the
it's
scale,
your only hobby.
if you go and buy a Lamborghini and buy a titanium exhaust one of them, they're 10 grand. So
Yeah.
it's all part of the course and the value of the car. Coming up to the front, we have a completely one-off custom dry carbon bonnet, which again we talked about in that carbon video.
Yeah.
This is actually modelled on the Z-Tune R32 GTR with a slight addition to the top here, which got two little vents on the turbo side, just for ventilation. When I got the car, didn't have any aero catches.
Nope. So yeah,
Not
did
touching
that.
anywhere near the aero catches.
Yeah.
The aero catches. Had them fitted just because any speed over 70 miles an hour, you can see it wobbling. It's terrifying.
You did have a valve fitted on the exhaust. Tell them about the valve.
Yeah, wow. Just because it's so loud, I bought I can't remember the exact name of it now, but it's a very rare electronic exhaust valve that you can fit to any 3-inch or 3.5-inch exhaust.
Was it from Japan as well?
It's a special Japanese part, yeah. I think it's I can't remember the name. So, I had that valve fitted, and when we had to go and have it retuned with the valve a little bit closed, the power of the car blew the downpipe apart. Now, the Tommy downpipe is actually held together with springs, so that sounds really dramatic, but it's not. It just pulls the springs apart. And
Pops the springs.
It just popped the spring. But I was just sat in their waiting room. They came in and went, your exhaust has exploded. Yeah, okay. I can't wait to buy another one of them. Really, really important when you're buying any Japanese car. This has no rust. It's been dry stored for the 6 years that it was in the UK before I bought it.
Right, guys, we're actually in the car now because one, it was cold. He's in a t-shirt for some dumb reason. But secondly, it was really windy as well. So we're in the car, and I want to ask, and obviously, you know, we're talking about how good the car is now, but what are you going to do with the car in the future, and obviously things for you guys to look forward to?
Yep. So, I mean, there's loads you can do with these cars. Since I've bought it, I've done a lot of work, even though it doesn't look much different. I mean, the Cyvex that I didn't mention in the video.
Oh, yeah.
We're running a Cyvex S7i ECU, which is it's a great ECU.
It's good for future proofing.
That's what I'm saying, is that there's lots of stuff like anti-lag that we don't. So all the pops and bangs you might have seen, that's not anti-lag.
No,
That's just it doing its own thing. So imagine that amplified. Things like traction control, that it has its own traction control, but proper tuned traction control.
So is this running Nissan stock?
Stock traction control.
Is it really?
Yeah, but
that's surprising.
in the centre of these,
even my Z
Yeah.
doesn't have Nissan stock traction control because it's too intrusive. So
Yeah.
my Z, rear-wheel drive cars, they slip out, and like it's only got 330 horsepower anyway, but they slip out quite a lot. And Nissan's, it's too much. It's too much. So it has ECU Tech's
yeah, the
own
tune.
traction system. It's quite good actually, but I'm surprised that this one doesn't
Yes.
have its own
Well, the Atessa
aftermarket thing.
The Atessa system that you now have in your Pulsar GTR in a different video, which is really cool. We should go have a look at it.
Linked above.
Yeah, totally. The Atessa system is two separate systems running at the same time. So in the centre of your car, you have a G sensor.
Yeah.
This has an uprated G sensor that is more sensitive to the acceleration of the car and puts the four-wheel drive on earlier. So,
Right.
although it doesn't have very good traction control at the moment,
But it brings it, yeah, okay.
brings it in.
That
So-
makes sense. So maybe aftermarket traction control.
yeah, maybe. So that's just ECU stuff. Always infinitely tunable. It can be tuned remotely if I need it to be, or if I add something else. Engine mods, I'm not really going to go down the building route because it's already a forged engine.
It's already built.
Yep.
Like it is.
It has stock coil packs. I can always say spark plugs. Coil packs,
Okay.
which are great. They are actually really good, but you can fit. There's a brilliant kit that keeps the top of the engine looking stock, but you get R35 coil packs put in there, and that's a nice little
Just
mod
like
that you can do.
The SR20 does Audi R8.
Yeah, there's now R8 version for the RB as well.
Oh, is it really?
It's exactly the same.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, interesting.
But you want to find the ones that have.
Does that improve? What does that improve?
So you would get a cleaner ignition, essentially.
cleaner burn,
But
basically.
you have to tune the car to do it.
Yeah. Okay.
Timing has to be changed. Every time I take this for a tune, it's about 130 quid. So you only want to do it once or twice when a
Do
year.
everything and then just tune the tits out of it all in one go.
I'd like to either go big single turbo, and I'll explain why in a second, or uprate the twins. Now, in here at the moment, I've got Garrett Dash 5s, and they're really good turbos. But as I mentioned outside the car, hopefully you can hear me. They're just about at their limit at 680 horsepower. They really are limited. If I went big single,
Doesn't feel like it's limited.
no,
FYI.
it's so terrifying.
Fucking scary.
I'm so scared.
Scary as hell.
Yeah.
And we have a video actually of the reaction to it linked above. And we go sideways twice.
Yep. That was on the original R888 though, and it's a bit better now. But it's still, I still went a little bit sideways down there. So
Terrifying. But it's fun. Like,
it's so much fun.
but it's still terrifying.
You always want more power. That's the problem.
Yeah.
He got to 685 and went, we hit 700, but I had to dial it back. And I was like, well, now I want 700, don't I?
You just want that round number. That round number.
So I could go big single turbo. Two major reasons is, one, reliability. You fit a single turbo, you have a single manifold. Twins have two normal manifolds normally, and there's two loads of lines, oil and water.
Yeah.
Whereas with a single, one line, a bit more reliable. But I love the idea of the car continuing to be a twin turbo.
It's nice to have it that sort of
It is what it's meant to be, but then it's also uprated.
OEM plus. Like, so I that's what I call OEM plus, is that sort of thing, like keeping it in the same vein as what it's meant to, just making it better, and similar to like the styling on my car. Like it's got like an NN wing, you know, it's a Nissan known wing, so but you're putting it on a car that's not supposed to be on, but it's still, to me, it's OEM plus.
Yeah.
So that's similar.
It's not a big gay wing, is it? Like
No.
that's not bad.
Like that S14 we went to see,
Oh.
which we're going to do a car story on because that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Do you still have the videos of that? Maybe.
Oh, I might do.
That'd be
Ooh,
good.
that'd be
Anyway,
yeah.
so basically,
I'd like to keep it. Say you'd say it's still run on twins, and generally that's a bit frowned upon because they're not as efficient or they're not as powerful as a single. But there's a kit that I've just seen finished production or project. There's a prototype, and it will do 1200 horsepower on the new style turbos.
That's
and
awesome.
I'd like to go down the Borg Warner route. They are really expensive.
Borg Warner turbos are epic, basically.
Yeah.
Very, very epic.
But other than that, I need to get used to the car because I haven't driven it much over winter. I don't take this out at all when it's raining or wet
Because
or
of
damp.
rust, basically.
Yeah, so it hasn't really been out very, and that's partly why we haven't videoed it.
Yeah.
Not just because we haven't been around. It just sits in the garage.
Yeah. So I guess to kind of round it out, some light modifications, enjoying the car, and taking it around to shows and just showing it off.
Yeah, we need to do that. We're going to do loads of shows with it. I mean, both you in the car and you taking your car.
Yeah.
And then vice versa. Hopefully you get some videos of you driving it at some point as well. Because
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It's the thing. You will see videos of Nate driving it, but I'd like to be confident to know what it can do to tell him what he can do with it first.
Yeah.
That's kind of the idea. It's not
Yeah,
like
no,
I trust
I
you.
get that.
It's just I don't trust me yet.
Yeah.
And if I
Well,
don't trust it, then-
honestly, it sounds dumb, but it would be the same with the 370Z. Like, if you're not familiar with it, you're not familiar with the rear-wheel drive setup and what it can do and where it cuts out and things like that. If you're going around a corner, I wouldn't say, oh, you can do this, or oh, you can, like,
Yeah.
you just wouldn't do it. Like, it's just dumb.
Yeah.
You need to know the limits of your own car before you let someone else try to push those limits as well. Like,
maybe get you in it and just get you to floor it down a straight road for a little bit just to see how that's fun.
cack my pants.
Oh, yeah, and me even more probably because I'll be the one that's. Oh my God, it's my car!
Always the worst when you're the passenger in your car. So I guess that's it really. So
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed this video. A little bit different with Nick presenting, so give it a thumbs up for Nick. But yeah, it is a car that will be on the channel. It's not just, you know, my cars and things like that. There will be Nick's car, especially now, like it's actually going to warm up a lot, so expect it here fairly often, and definitely car shows, car meets. We need to do that. That'll be a good laugh.
Yeah,
Be good
and just
fun.
a little teaser to the hopefully the history of my cars. There's Aston Martin DB9 that just went past that distracted me thoroughly the entire time you were talking.
Yeah, it's all right.
I've been negotiating for another car for me, so hopefully at some
Do I
point
know this one?
you do, but
Okay.
I'll tell you about it in a little bit
All
because
right,
I'm not gonna reveal it.
Don't spoil it.
But
Don't
something's
spoil it.
going on.
Yeah, we're expanding the sort of car channel fleet. Channel car
You
fleet.
say like
Car channel fleet.
Don't say fleet 'cause it sounds like it's being paid for somehow other
Yeah, no,
than
it's not. This is literally,
yeah, all our money.
Right, but anyway, hope you enjoyed today's video. Give it a big thumbs up if you did. We release content maximum, hopefully, maybe 3 times a week. That's the aim. Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.
Love you, bye.